Shabam! And the player's audio. Kaboom! Yeah. Right, you all should be able to hear me now. Welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. It is Tuesday and we are playing Fables Among Titans. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So, we're playing DnD5e, if you haven't noticed already. Thank you for tuning in if you are tuning in live. Thank you for watching us if you're watching it on the Twitch VOD or the YouTubes. If you want to follow us doing our weird and wonderful stuff, you can see at the bottom of the screen Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram and Patreon. You just type in Heavyweight or Heavyweight Gaming variation of and you will find us. And thank you very much if you do. If you wish to support the channel so we can do lots of stuff, or you wish to support anything we do as Heavyweight with our weird and wonderful geeky lives, please feel free to throw a subscription on Patreon or here. And as you know, if you are a Amazon Primist, you get a free Twitch subscription to give away that we will happily take and feed the children, and new shoes for our walks for the day. So, that's the
gravy time.
Yes, sorry, I just had a moment there. Thank you very much, Black Omega 20. For your subscription with Twitch Prime. On cue. On cue. So, that is the social media stuff out of the way. A lovely word for our sponsors. You will be able to see, a lot better this week, Sawdust and Swearwords. If you type them in on Facebook, exactly that, Sawdust and Swearwords, you will go to a beautiful Facebook page where you will see some really stunning polished wood items. Dice cups, tankards, bowls, candle holders, real cool fountain pens. I shit you not. Get your behinds there. You will love what you'll find at Sawdust and Swearwords. Another lovely woodworker and another sponsor, sponsoring us from day one, 3 sessions ago. Ruffworx Creative, another woodworker, leather worker. His talent with wood, right? It's after the watershed, is unbelievable. He's less polished than Sawdust and Swearwords.
It's gravy time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Gravy time.
Gay pub coming, guys. Okay, just all the gravy. If anyone works for Bisto and can get me sponsored, I'm all over that. So yeah, go see Ruffworx Creative again. Find him on Facebook at Ruffworx Creative, and you can see lots of beautiful wood and leather stuff. Very similar genre of geekiness, dice trays and stuff, but a very different aesthetic to what you will find at Sawdust and Swearwords, and both are very, very skilled and crafty folks. Arcane Script is less of a sponsor and more of us shouting about it. Our Patreon subscribers get access to our 5th edition e-magazine that we release once a month, and it is all about Colossus, the world we play our Dungeons and Dragons games in. So you will get all the lore of Colossus, you will get the subclasses, NPCs, adventures, feats, spells, monsters and everything that we all come up together at Heavyweight, and at HWG we care about our friends, and we put it all into this magazine. It's amazing. You get rewarded for that if you subscribe on Patreon. A extra bonus for tonight, we have the Thornless Rose, who between myself and Rose we are going to do a little giveaway. Details of it will be coming out tomorrow on our Twitter page and Facebook page. Of how you can enter and win a lovely leather dice trays that roll up like little scrolls and a little bag of Thornless Rose dice. So, if you go,
we have
literally just had a delivery from them yesterday. Not related.
I am jealous.
So yes, there will be a giveaway for that. Also, we have our lovely friends Bardic Inspiration. You can go find them. You'll probably see their link pop up in the chat throughout. As long as you lot keep chatting, you will keep seeing these lovely links. Yes, go check out Bardic Inspiration at bardicinspiration.co.uk. Yeah, I'm not getting... Yes, yes.
Nailed it.
Last time Luke decided to correct me mid-stream, so... or mid-war. So, with all that lovely gubbins out the way, we do have a massive announcement that I can't make, so I'm vague booking. All right, posting.
You
whatever.
keep doing this to me.
I got to like bubbling to the point of like just it's crazy. Alice has been telling me to shut up all day, so look out for that. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to shout that out. Let's get into the game. Here is, first we'll go round the players. So we have AJ playing
Delathan the Wizard.
Cool. We have Kate playing.
Griff, the Kengu.
We have Luke playing.
I play Kespion, the fighter.
Jade playing.
Xandria, the warlock.
And Mel playing.
Harry, the swashbuckler rogue.
Look at that. No better collection of lunatics will you find in the world. So, a recap of the last week and week before. This bunch of folks are on their way to a city called Ebendorf in the country of Ravenholm. Ravenholm is a place that, if you were to describe it to your friends, is in a perpetual autumn's miserable day. is the best way to describe it to folk. Of the 6 provinces, the House of Tor rules from Ebendorf. This is where the players are on the way to now, for their various reasons. On their way there, the ship that they were aboard, the Oaken Whale, they had a little break. They went to a fishing folk village. It was attacked by purple worms, because why not? And they decided to unify or die for a short time. The fisher folk, the remaining crew of the Oaken Whale, and the party had to go overland to Ebendorf because there wasn't enough of them to crew the ship. On their route to Ebendorf, the lovely night's rest they had was wonderful and everybody loved it. And then they were attacked by horrific creatures from the night that did not like daylight, as they found out towards the end of the fight. And a few, if not most, of the fisher folk were killed. One of the children that survived was killed. Loads of the dwarves were killed. And it left them with 6 kids.
It's gravy time.
Thank you for the host, Clockwork SJ. And yeah, so there's not a lot of them left. And they are heading their way. They are all drained. Their magics have been spent. Their energy has been spent. They are aware now as the sun comes up and they are on their merry way to Ebendorf that they will probably get there this afternoon. Well, for them, not for us. So, we will now zoom in to the players and their choices for the day. You are heading to Ebendorf. You have a few hours to get there, and I am very aware there were talks of long rests.
I'm already in meditation as this starts.
Cool. So what's your plan, children? What is your plan?
I too would like to take a rest, please, for the sake of my health. Those of us who had been on watch when the fucking happened, how much of a rest did we have when the sky
You will have
decided...
qualified for a short rest. You won't have qualified for a long rest.
Okay, then I guess we'll probably guard over Xandria while she finishes her long rest.
Okay.
Harry will probably do the same, to be fair, because, yeah, non-spellcasters. This is so weird for me. I always play spellcasters. What is this?
So is it a case of, with the remaining 3 dwarfs and what's left of the fisherfolk and yourselves, you're going to not travel through the day, you're going to get your 8 hours or long rest equivalent before setting off anywhere near Ebendorf? I will say. Well,
how many people apart from the 2 people who only need trance? Because that's only 4 hours. Not to be that person.
Griff, I'm gonna imagine Griff will probably need a long rest.
So what I was going to say is, due to the amount of rest you got through the night before the fight, you will have the same amount of rest needed as those that trance. So within the 4 hours, including what you got during the night, I will allow a long rest to have happened. Does that make sense?
4 hours, everybody finishes off 4 hours,
yes.
Then they have the equivalent of a long rest.
That's great for those of you that are elves.
Yeah. Mel, sweet.
For everyone, Mel. That's what we mean.
Listen with God-given ears. You would have the equivalent of a long rest because you already had a small snooze at the start and a small snooze at the end.
You had a disco nap, right? You're now finishing your disco nap.
If she wants to get
If
into
you
full
survive
sass.
it.
So during the daytime, there are the lighter versions of the Death Ravens, and they attack you. So you set up camp again. The storm passed that was raging through the night, and it passed as quickly as the attack happened. So you set up camp, get back in your bedrolls, you are all sodden. You discover that you are really tired. Oakenbear and Finny and Bottlebelly, they potter around, and between all of you, you manage to rotate around who needs to rotate and such, with the dwarves, with the fisherfolk, with yourselves. You sleep through that morning, like almost just hit the deck, gone, and you are awoken around midday. You have all had a long rest.
Look at that lovely health. Oh no, don't look at that lovely health. I forgot the thing was sitting on the thing.
I take it my level of exhaustion also takes a vanish.
Yes, your exhaustion levels all go because of how you receive them. Yeah.
Yes.
Unclick.
So normally it's a long rest per level of exhaustion, but when I give you it for your specific character reason, all of it will go. Yep. You can hear the birds chirping. If you can't, use your imaginations. The folk at home should be able to hear the birds chirping. But yes, and you are awoken ready. Midday, there is a meal being prepped. The druids, the druidic dwarves have done the best with their cantrips and such, and whatever stuff you've got in your packs that isn't completely ruined by storm, rain, and you have a somewhat decent lunch to prepare yourselves for the 4 or 5 hour trek to Ebendorf. So you will now arrive there towards evening rather than, or at least the start of evening rather than the afternoon. And you are on your merry way. Now, like a professional, I do not have my map up, so... So yeah, you're on your way to Ebendorf. Do you wish to talk on your way to Ebendorf, or do you want to leap forwards in time?
Does Ari still have the small child attached to him?
Yes, throughout this walk, Guion, the young black-haired lad, about 6 years old, is very much a fan of Ari at the minute.
Just gonna glare
Artie
daggers
gave
at
the
this
master.
child and Ari.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Well, they're in fact daggers at you, not at the child. It's more Mel
you glad
going,
those
what the
things?
hell have I got a child? But actually, no, Ari's doing the same thing, to be fair. It's fine.
Have a child. How did this happen?
How did this happen? Ari's going to kind of be like, kind of try and push him back towards the villagers a little bit.
He will, if you push and kind of hand him over. He will look, he'll look sad, but he will go back with the villagers that he recognises. He gives no fudge about the daggers of Zandria or anyone. I think he's kind of in a bit of a, you all look like funny folk to him.
I'll show you funny folk.
Hellish rebuke on a 6-year-old. He's not even attacked me.
I would.
I mean, I might be giving him back, but you leave him alone.
Can you do that after 9 o'clock, please? I don't want to get sued. So you are. Guion does indeed hang more with those of the fisher folk that know him or know of him, even though, well, most of them are orphans or familyless at the minute, so they're all kind of just chipping in. And Guion does hang with them. You see him now and then kind of point and sort of walk away, like try and walk away from them, and they'll pull him back and stuff like this. So yes.
Oh, I feel bad.
It is.
No.
There is an element of sun beaming through the greyer skies, and it does light the day, and it does feel like a nice day in autumn rather than a heavy thunderstorm of death that you just experienced the night before. It was come and go, was the storm. There was not a large build up to it, but it did definitely hold when it got here. You are heading north. The trees are still thick. They're still overbearing at some places, and then a bit more sparse as you come through. Your hours pass, and the sun dips once more as you approach the early eve. Ahead of you, you can see the great dark stone walls of the city of Ebendorf. As the sun is almost out of sight, you're pushing like 5, maybe half 5. The grey stone looks darker because of the lack of light. It is about 100 feet high as this wall. It is very squared off edges around the tops and the towers that you can see, the guard towers all around. This city is massive, so the bit you can see in front of you, you obviously can't see it then bend off around the surrounding of the city. Whoever built this wall, bearing in mind where you are, Ebendorf is a coastal city on the western coast of Ravenholm. Probably the furthest away from danger from any land invasion, and it is definitely built as if to say, look how big and strong I am as a city. Everything, there's there's no finesse in the wall building or the tower building. It's big, stonky, dark stone. You can see it is heavily guarded along the wall. You can see folks with long spears on the tops. They're in a very dark red sort of colouring to some of their armour and uniforms. You can't see details of the uniform, but you can see the coloration of them as you're approaching. And as you're approaching the gates, these gates are just no need to be that big. They're almost a custom made. They don't have the usual 2 big thick wooden doors. These oaken, or they appear to be oaken doors, have all these carvings of these enormous beasts, bulls, elephants, rhinos, some animals you've never seen. Like, not many of you will have seen a rhino before, bar Griff. These huge, big creatures are carved all over this door. Bears, anything that you would consider to be a massive creature is up there. And they're all snarling, they're all looking menacing, they're all looking intimidating. There's no soft bear sat in a corner eating honey, shouting poo. It is just a massive grisly thing coming at you from the wood. In front of it on the outside there are no guards, but there is a thicker, almost towered like porter cabin made out of stone that comes out of the front, and it is just solid stone, like a rectangle block that sticks out, and you can see that there are guards coming in and out of that, but there are none like stood in front of the doorway. The archway that goes over the door again has these beautiful, if not gothic looking, almost sigil glyph type patterns across and under the archway of the gate, and as you approach you can see they shimmer red as if they are wet and glistening, but it sort of shimmers from left to right as you're coming towards the doors. A few of the guards come out of these like block cabin on the side, and they come out, and now you can see that they are in chain mails with leather parts that will cover their shoulders. It's all big, bulky. There's very much a physical presence to the way they're portraying their uniformed guards. And they come over and they talk to Captain Balderback, who goes ahead, and there is a conversation. You can't hear it. Balderback comes back, the guard goes back to the cabin, and the doors start opening. They open up and they drag along the floor. There's nothing smooth. It's almost a deliberate design that they scrape on the floor. People want you to know that you are entering the city of Ebendorf. As the doors open, there is a rush of noise as you have entered. La 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 la. Ooh, I love noise. Bum 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 bum. you have entered. As you come through, Ari, you recognise the word Wasir on like in huge lettering. It's in common. It doesn't make any sense to you lot, but it means water to you, Ari. W-A-S-S-E-R. Wasir. And you come into and straight away you are hit with bells, a strong breeze. There is salty smell in the air, so it's like this wall and gates was blocking off where you've come into the port of the city on the sort of southwestern side, and you are in the district of the Wasir. As you go in, this port is enormous. Most of the port towns you've been on are very much that, a bunch of buildings where people sell the odd trinket, and then a few living areas, and then a dock with a few ships. This is a city that is a port. So you can imagine the breadth and size of this. Like, they don't have little fisher boats in their dock, they have 3-mast galleys, 2-mast galleys, enormous ships. You can see that the dock itself holds about 15 of these 3-mast ships currently in there, of different variations on their flags, and the colouring of sails is slightly different. They all have a very similar design, that they are big and stonky and chunky, and you can see great ballista on the sides of them far down to your left as you're coming in at a bit of a high point. There are buildings all around on your right that are again of a similar dark stone on your way in. The floor, as best as it can and as everywhere as you can, is cobblestone. Cobblestone? Cobblestone. There you go, that's one word. It's cobblestone, and you can see people going about their business very busily as you are now in this sea merchant quarter district of this massive city. The guards are forever present walking around these streets, very much like a militia presence constantly. You don't see a lot of trouble going on. That could be because these massive guards are potting around, or massive patrols of guards. No one seems to be aggressive in the immediate vicinity. What you do notice is with every patrol of guard that are again in the similar crimson-esque colouring to their uniforms, they're all carrying a short blade, a spear, a quiver of arrows on their back, and a short bow. And with every patrol of 5 or 6, there is a huge 7-foot something, and they're covered in plate armour with chain, and the crimson has been sort of etched into the metalwork and then like ink washed in red, and they have huge horned helmets that cover most of their face, very much in the style of some of the creatures you saw on the huge door on your way in. Now, some of them are very obviously minotaurs. You can see a giant bull shaped, a giant humanoid with a bull's head with a massive plate helm on. So you've got the horns of the minotaur and the horns of the helmet. Similar with the rhinotaurs, yes. They have the horns coming out of the side of these big helmets, but then they have their front horns coming out as well. And then there are a few others that you can see less of their face, but you can see the big horned helmets. And all of them stand like 7 feet, huge, just real big, heavy, plate armoured guards walking around on these patrols. And it ain't a martial law scenario, it is just the groups of guards you do see around. But I mean, you're in a massive port, and you see them potting around, and obviously they stick out quite a lot to you. It is full of people, it is incredibly busy. The majority of folk you see around here are human. They are all in the attire of, their colourings of clothing are the darker shades, so they're in browns and greys, even their greens, reds and their blues are all the darker shades. Some are wool, they're obviously wearing clothes to protect themselves from the bad weather that you've already experienced. What you do see as you've come in at the peak is ahead of you, where there seems to be a scene of glorious sunshine and beautiful green meadows and hills with beautiful thatched roofs and a house, like a mansion-sized house. And this must be in the far, like northern, or like further north than this district you are in now. like on a hill, but it's stupidly pretty. Almost like someone's painted the skyline in front of you. And you are now in the city of Ebendorf. Oaken Bear? Well, we're here. We're in the right place to go looking for crew. I don't know what yourselves want to do.
I wanted to have a little look for a tavern if I could.
There are several of them. Roll a perception check.
Oh boy. Oh, +0, that's great. 10.
10. So yeah, you see plenty of buildings that equate to taverns. You are in a dock, so there's no surprise there. And you, that is annoying me. And the first one that pops out to you is the Dead Reven. And it is quite close by. It is dark, dingy. The swinging sign on the outside is kind of broken in half, and you can just see what's like half a wing and a foot, and then the head of the raven, where it's just see, all right, Griff, is just the sign's not really complete, but you get the gist.
Harry pretends he hasn't noticed it and just keeps walking towards the pretty area.
Wow.
Anybody else?
My quest is feeling a little light. I'm going to start looking for a message board. See if there's anywhere that does any jobs.
Right, delving straight in the life of an adventurer.
Next quest, please.
Yeah, where's the guy with a question mark?
I need drinking money.
So what are you doing? Just looking for a tavern as a group, or?
The siblings are. I mean, they're here on a mission.
Mission.
If I can remember what the mission was.
Oh my god.
You're the worst.
Responsibility who?
Look, right, it was a while ago. I don't even remember what the bloody guy was called or what he wanted us to do. Clane, yeah.
The landlord.
Yeah, and where the fuck did he go?
We don't meet him in cities, we only see him on the road, Jesus.
Oh yeah, I'm literally just reading that line in the message.
Brilliant. So for you folks that play Dungeons and Dragons and you've got a lovely dungeon master and he goes out of his way to write you some cool stuff and you have a really good time and all that, yeah, just bin it. Just bin it.
I don't know where it is. Where is my PDF? Do you know how many documents I have on this computer?
Well, do you know what I do? I write it in my book and then I go, oh yeah, I need to go and refer back to that because I've got a specific tavern I need to find.
I haven't wrote anything in my book yet. It's still blank.
There's notebooks everywhere. Except
Notebook. This one has unicorns on, you know? It's very official.
The IC one, still empty. Still haven't put anything in it. There's like 2 sessions put in.
So, whilst Andrea tries to recall why she's travelled thousands of miles from home.
I'm sorry, I was really hurt about like 10 hours ago. Forgive me for having a...
You had a sleep, it's fine.
Sure.
Exactly, I've slept since then. I don't remember. I have a low intelligence.
Dalefin, give me a perception check.
With pleasure. 16.
16. So, the thing that you would assume is a message board, job board. There are quite a lot of them around. So where you guys are coming in at the top and it's more cobblestoned, and there's more businesses that are brick and mortar, and then there is a hill that goes down to the actual dock area. So you're looking down upon the dock area. You can see these message boards, big, thick wooden message boards, plenty of parchment on them. Some of them sodden and bits are broken off and that, but they're all dotted around the place. Where you are, there's a few on the top, like promenade, if you want to call it that. There is more message boards away and stuff like this. At first glance, they're asking for crew. They are captains advertising that they will take passengers. There are little sell yourself parchments. Come join us on the merry seas. totally will look after you. Free food, free water, as long as you can row. There are people offering, looking to be taken as passengers. They're looking for passengers. They're looking for crew, offering themselves as crew. Business opportunities. We'll take your cargo all the way to Atoria for a small price. And then every now and then you see any witnesses regarding the fire in the district of Loop. Please come forward and speak to Captain Berrymund. You are muted.
Which district was that, sorry?
District of Loop, which to Ari is the district of the Wolf. There was apparently, according to these bits of parchment, a great fire, and yes, they want witnesses, and that's almost on every message board, so it's kind of important, or at least it is to them.
I'll take a. Do they look like they could be pulled down, or if there's one everywhere rather than, or is it just a case of making a note of it? Because screw it, I'm taking one.
You take one of the parchments?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The one with the thing involving Captain Berrymund and the witnesses, just because it does seem more important. And then I'll follow Harry towards the tavern.
So, Harry, as you're pottering along, are you all following? Griff, twins? Are you just following? Or siblings even?
I think Kess, seeing Xandria having a moment, clearly.
Just like...
The great fantasy internet has sent you an update of the stuff that you know, just so you're aware.
Oh, great! Oh,
you can thank me. You can thank me. Oh, you suddenly remember.
Oh yeah, suddenly remembers. Andrea suddenly remembers what the fuck they're doing.
He'll kind of give her a nudge and kind of suggest that it's probably worth them trying to find somewhere safe for the night. And if they're supposed to try and find out more about why people could be trying to get where they should not be, then I guess a tavern's as good a place as any to hear talk.
Yes, because that's where all of the gossip happens. It's always in the tavern. The tavern folk know everything.
Do you say that? Is that self-tension?
Legit, what Andrea says?
You will just get a...
I don't look so confused.
That's usually how that works.
So as you all see, Kesvion and Xandria having a lovely conversation. Ari, you do see more taverns. Some are busier than more, and as per expected in most port town areas, there is a lot of activity going on around the taverns. So the immediate ones are the Dead Reven. You can see one tavern called Sawdust and Swearwords.
That was like a good one.
That sounds like the best one.
There are more, but if you've made your decision, you could go to the...
He's looking for a specific place. Does he have to ask somebody whether he can find a specific place?
Well, you've never been to Ebendorf. Oh, you have been to Ebendorf. You know where you're going. 2 seconds.
Is he looking for the snuggly duckling?
While Ari looks like they've got a distinct route in mind, I'm just going to look back to see if we still have a king following us.
So, Ari, the tavern you are looking for is in the district of the Loop. So the Wolf district, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's burnt down. Because there was a fire, so it's burnt down.
I mean, most taverns get destroyed around us, it's fine.
on the piece of parchment you took, Daelfin, as you read it and you see more information on there, it is believed that the tavern, the Cave of the Bat, was the was the source of the fire.
Of course it was.
Fair enough. I'll carry on walking. Again, I'm just going to do a sort of a moment back. Do we still have a Kenku following us? Are you still there, Griff?
Griff's
when it
going
comes-
into the Dead Reven to kill some fools.
When it comes to Griff, I think he's got two priorities, but the main one is making sure that the crew that they've been traveling with is okay. So he would have, if they're not already following to the same kind of tavern, he would have stayed with them at least for a bit just to make sure they're okay.
Okay, Boulderback will be walking in the direction of the Sawdust and Swearwords.
Okay. And there was something else, but I can't remember it. Oh no, I do remember. He would have been along the same lines of Dalefin, kind of looking to see if there's anything he can help with in the area. And he probably has like caught up behind him and is nosing at the piece of paper that he's holding.
Cool. You see a sign outside Sawdust and Swearwords that says "No naked flames."
As Griff's kind of looking over my shoulder, I'm going to just look back and through message, not through talk now, of interest to you, you can reply to this message in actual English.
Common.
Common there.
I think Griff's probably going to respond out of instinct and then be shocked. He'll kind of be like, "Yeah, it's curious," and then be like,
What's that? Who said that? Who said that?
What's that noise?
I'll grab a bit and hand the parchment over.
He's gonna be like, from looking, he's not really reading it now, he's just kind of looking at him like, that's not happened before. What?
What is this?
So as Boulderback goes over to the tavern and just disappears inside, Finny and Bottlebelly just kind of look around. Bottlebelly, the chef, she potters over. Well, unless you're staying on to crew, you're at Ebendorf. We do apologise that it wasn't the smoothest trip in the world, but the captain's going to get some more crew, hopefully take a trip down the coast. I do not fancy heading on the roads again, and we'll sort out the Oakham Whale. Take a few days for us to get back down there and back up, but well, thank you. The captain gave me this to give you all, and she hands over a small leather pouch. There's about 60 gold in there. Take it as anything really. Thanks, compensation, anything.
80.
Yep.
Is that one pouch?
It is one pouch, yes.
Okay, good to know.
And she's just holding it. First person that takes it gets 60 gold.
Looking at everyone else.
Ari will take it.
Of course he will.
Of course he will.
Ari takes the pouch. Yeah, so thank you. Like, yeah, you can see the relief in Finny and Bottlebelly's faces there. Whew. It's almost like they've held their breath since the purple worm attack right till now. And there is a
Griff's
relaxation about them.
Pat Bottlebelly on the arm, kind of like, it's good now. You're good. That kind of.
Fully aware of your methods at this moment. Bottlebelly's just like, yes, Griff, thank you. I don't suppose we don't really know what to do with the fisher folk. I mean, they're native of the province. Maybe the Lord and Lady will take care of them. But
Griff's gonna pull out his own little leather pouch and hand it over to Bottlebelly, completely in entirety. Not the 60 gold pieces. This is his own.
Okay. She has a look.
It has 25 gold pieces in,
Ooh.
I think. And he's kind of motioning like, take.
For the people
and-
or for the dwarfs? Are you motioning to the fisher folk or just to the dwarf?
He'll repeat fisher folk.
Cool. Yes, it's very generous of you. The captain's going to give him some gold as well, and hopefully that'll not compensate for the loss of life they've had, but it'll do better than It'll do better than what we can offer him out on the seas. And
I hope you guys all get back safe and get your ship sorted and everything. And he kind of like, he goes over to Guillaume.
Guillaume stands there, Puss in Boot eyes.
Take me.
He kind of like crouches down by him, and it's kind of like, so, you know, I said stay with the fisher folks, they'll keep you safe. Like, you know, they're your family now.
He's nodding.
Make sure you stay with them, because they will keep you safe. Unfortunately, I need to go. But you know, I hope you enjoyed all the tales of pirates, and you tell your friends, and we have a really good time.
He looks at you and he says, "One day I'm going to be a pirate." And he sort of stands straight at 3'2".
You will be a pirate. You will. I believe in you.
And he sort of takes a bit of a deep breath and just walks off. I call myself Serenity and cast Shatter. And you see Guillaume make his way back to the fisher folk. Little bit of a kip in his step. So,
don't make me feel sorry for the child.
the fisher folk are saved. Well, the remaining 7 adults, 6 kids. Well done. The crew of the Orcam Whale, or at least what's left of them, the druidic seafaring dwarfs, are going about their business. They've exchanged gold, taken gold from Griff. You see Bottlebelly go over to the fisherfolk and hand over the pouch from Griff, and they point across to Griff, and you see the elders are like waving. There's a couple of tears getting shared between them and stuff. Of the lot of you, including the dwarfs, they probably experienced the worst, so they're having a moment. Except Guillaume. Guillaume's, you know, he's just immediately at 6'3". It's just like, let's go. But Boulderback comes out not long after your conversation with Bottlebelly, to be fair. Straight back out with a piece of parchment in his hand, comes walking straight up to Bottlebelly and Finney, and then comes over to yourselves. Well, that didn't take too long. I've got a few people that have volunteered. I can pay them. They've got a ship. They'll take us down the coast, and I'll grab a few down on the docks to help get the Orcam Whale here before I do a proper recruit. My thanks. I assume Bottlebelly gave you the gold. It's the least we can do.
They did, thank you.
But thank you, and stay safe. And he just sort of nods at you all, and he buggers off with his crew. And the fisher folk, he goes over, and whatever he says to them, they go with him, and he's taking them down to the docks to sell them as slaves.
Well, it's a better life than the one they had.
Is it after 9? Is it after 9? No, we've got 10 minutes. Right. So, you are now in, you're free. You have no obligations to dwarves or fisherfolk, if you had any in the first place. You are aware that there was a great fire. You are aware that Captain Berrymund is looking for witnesses. There are taverns everywhere. You all have your little things that you wish to try and do within the city of Ebendorf. Where do you go? What do you want to do?
I mean, he kind of looks around at the rest, like, have any of you guys been here before?
No.
It gets about that far and I've immediately walked off towards the tavern.
That's fair. I mean, Sawdust Swearwords is pretty good. Yeah, Sawdust is pretty good. However, there's some better taverns inland a bit. Do you want to come with?
I'll get about 4 or 5 paces, stop a moment, so I turn to look back. You really don't want me following. Trust me on this one. And then I'm going to carry it into the Sawdust.
So you've lost one party member. Oh, short and sweet.
Oh, you're diverting us, I see.
So Dalefin just disappears into the Sawdust and Swearwords, which has now become my favourite tavern.
I think the question of you guys haven't been here before, Kess will just kind of like look between him and Xandria, how they're dressed, everyone around, and then just kind of like look back at Ari like, I'm not sure if you're joking.
That's a choice.
Or...
He wasn't, but you know.
Dale, sorry.
Xandria's just rolling her eyes.
Dale, on your way,
and walking off.
Give me a perception check as you were entering the bar and you look towards the dock.
That's a 14.
There is a 3-mast galley that you recognise is definitely from the dynasty. It is more triangular in shape, the sails are sleeker, the ship is more aerodynamic compared to the large chunky vessels next to it. There is a flag on it, that you recognise that you recognise as Lady Ikiku's. Right? I will tell you.
Noted.
I will tell you. I shall tell you in a moment. So, Lady Ikika, sorry, Ikika, not Akiku. Lady Ikika of Summer's Warmth, yep. And the flag you see is that of the Crabapple Blossom clan. Of Clan Natsu specifically.
As I sort of enter into the tavern and see that out the window, I'm going to slink a little down into a sea to just keep an eye on it for a while, see who comes on and who leaves.
Cool. You are quite a distant. When I say this is a massive port, it is massive, and these ships look quite like small that distance you are above, but you are aware that they are 3-mast, etc. So you kind of hover around there. You've seen Dalefin go straight at the Sawdust and Swearwords, stop, and is now just casually leaning against the wall, looking down at the docks. Do you follow into the Sawdust and Swearwords, or... Yep, all of you? Cool.
Very well.
You get to the Sawdust and Swearwords. You see Dalefin kind of just resting against the doorway. As you enter, as expected with all taverns in a dock, especially one this size, there is a lot going on. There are tables and chairs. You realise now how big the building is. It's almost terracing up on this area where you are, up on the hill bit. And this building is massive, to the point where you're pretty sure if you walked further down the road, there'd be another door into this tavern. There must be 30 tables in here on this floor, and it's a 3-storey building. So you can imagine there are a lot of people getting it. And you can hear, there are no... So you've got a bit of a balcony, so the ceiling's missing for the next floor, so that people can look down into that to the ground floor. But there is a ceiling above floor 1, so you don't look all the way down from floor 2. Yep. So floor 2 is its own floor. But there are lots of people in there. There are several bardic types. By bardic types, I mean folk singing, dancing, making merriment with musical instruments, not the supernatural spellcasting that you are aware of. But there is a lot of jolliness going on in here. It is quite the contrast of your approach to the city that there are so many jolly folk in here. You do see a variety of people in here that are not just those of Ebendorf. There is a 6.5-foot bear that is covered in armour, and instead of having paw and claws, has real large hands with fur going over the sides, in a robe of crimson, and it's sort of V's, and you can see the fur of the chest, and they're just in this robe that ties at the belt, and just heavy set, and they're at a table, and they're essentially being arm wrestled by everyone in there that can possibly. It's almost like an attraction, and this bear's just there with a large mug of ale, just sat there arm wrestling at one of the tables far off to the left. The bar staff are an eclectic mix of young, middle-aged, older, lads, lasses, etc., just working, earning their keep, as it were, just doing their job. There must be 15, 20 staff that you see going around. It's a very, very large tavern with a lot of business coming through it. At the table to your far right, you see a bunch of humans that dwarf those of Ebendorf. They are big, burly, bearded, long-haired, female, male. They're braided. All their hair's braided. All their clothes are. They have fur on the shoulders, fur on the wrists. They have thick leather belts. They have torques that hang around their arms. They are burly. They are broad-shouldered. They are just having a pint of whatever they're selling in the thingy. They do not belong in Ebendorf as natives. Where you two don't know, Griff doesn't know. Ari and Dalethin, give me a intelligence check.
Oh no, okay, I've got Ari. Just a straight intelligence.
You're muted.
I think you said 19, but you're muted.
I did, yeah.
There you go.
It's because I'm going to bounce between things with Zoom.
My lip reading
14.
days. 14. Yeah, that's cool. It was relative. So you recognise them as people from the north in the country called Viconia. Yep. And they all sat having a drink. Other than that, it just looks like regular folk having a booze up.
Would Ari recognise anybody that if he's been there before?
Less so in these taverns, probably because of their nature of them being docks. So all the taverns get hit, and unless Ari's in every single tavern every single night, which fair play, then there's less of a recognition. You might exchange nods with a lot of people when it's a kind of, we're in a pub, they're in a pub, they're not being aggressive towards me, I'll smile, nod, and as Ari's hobbies kick in, you probably do a lot of nodding and smiling. So there are folks that you probably don't recognise, but again, who knows? You may have.
It's a nice atmosphere in the pub, it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, he was heading somewhere else, but I guess he's not now.
So you are in the Sawdust and Swearwords. Lots of stuff is going on. i.e. drinks, music, dancing. And,
Xandria will have just kind of pulled Kess to one side and try to find somewhere quiet because so many people, and I imagine quite a lot of people who are human.
Yeah, there are a lot of humans in here.
Yeah, so finding an area where the density of humans is significantly less.
You managed to quick one chat, let me know if that background music's too loud. You managed to find a table far in the corner that has got nobody sat at it, but there's only like 3 chairs. But it's probably the best place in here to avoid touching the stinky humans.
That's clearly where Xandria is going to go, and whether or not Kess is following.
I think it's pretty much it. As soon as he spots the empty table that seems quieter, like he's practically stepped over folk to get to it.
Yep.
Cool. So you two are at the table. Anyone else at the bar?
Ari goes to the bar.
Ari goes to the bar. Griff, people are looking at you, but not in a. It's more of a. Yeah, pretty cool sort of look than a anything animosity wise. Harry goes over to the bar.
That's good considering what he's probably going to do.
Okay.
It's nothing dodgy, honestly.
Fireball.
You said there's lots of bardic types around, so there's music playing, yeah?
A lot
people
of it,
dancing?
Yep.
Griff is going to start dancing along.
Give me a performance check.
Oh no. This could go horribly, but it doesn't matter if it does. Oh, no, it went well. Hold on, I rolled an 18.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't need to dance good, you just need to have fun, Griff.
18 plus 2, I got 20. The whole thing with Griff as well is that he can't, as a Kenku, the way I've got it, he can't dance. He's learnt it from watching. So when he does dance, it's going to be very free and jovial and happy, but there might be a lot of repetition. Very much on beat, but it's not what he's making.
So as you mimic those dancing, And
Sounds like me dancing.
you are. You've just described everyone that I've ever danced with. And as Griff starts kind of getting into the music, and head starts bobbing, and the beat's going. Griff's off.
Very much that.
And then on a 20, the music stops. Griff just puts feathered arm in the air in a white jumpsuit, just staying alive. You know what I mean? Just staying alive. That's all Griff's doing, staying alive. And yeah, people are watching Griff bounce around the tavern, and you just get a couple of folk come in and they sort of just dance with you, and there's a bit of a moment where you've sort of made your way over to where the majority of those dancing are. It's not really a dance floor, just that's the area that they've kind of taken over while they're dancing. And yeah, they're getting down with it. They're like, yeah, and they almost start trying to mimic you as you start trying to mimic the person next to them that they weren't doing. So now you've got all of these, about 25 and a Kenku, just all sort of trying to mimic each other in some weird dance practice for the ages.
Amazing.
As this is happening, Harry, it's kind of made us parting in the crowd for you, as a few people have started going, woo, and then they've started going over to join the legendary dancer that is Griff. And you get to the bar. As you get to the bar, there is a chap, very nicely kept beard, hair is oiled back, youngish, younger than yourself, human describe. Evening.
Hello.
Give me a perception check.
Check how hot he is.
Roll
in
for
our-
how hot the NPC is.
In
this
our
is-
homebrew, we have a roll for how hot the NPC is.
All right, Jesus. It's not far off, but it's not exactly what you're rolling for.
God damn it. Well, I mean, he only got an 11, so.
All right, cool. So the chap in front of you recognises you.
Oh god.
You ain't got a clue why. Right.
Oh, this could be awkward. Okay. Interesting. Right. And we just kind of like non-committally smiles and just like, hiya, you okay?
Yeah. So you back?
Yeah, just with some friends, just coming here on business. So.
You staying?
I've seen Mel do this in real life before.
You staying around long, or
This
he just poured you? He's just poured you an ale and put it in front of you. You hadn't even asked. It's like he knows what you drink.
He kind of picks up his ale, takes a sip, and it's just like, just in for the night, really. We've got a few jobs I need to do, but around for the night.
Cool. Well, you know where I am. And then someone calls out for an ale. He goes, I'll just be right back. So I just glances at you, but then goes and serves the last down the other side of the bar.
Harry's frontally searching his memory to see where he knows this guy.
Not on an 11.
There's no clue.
When he turned around, did she get advantage?
Oh. Do you lean over the bar and check out the lad? Alright, cool. Give me another perception roll. It's not with advantage, this is your second roll.
You were not.
If I back,
You're taking a
if I
picture.
back it up, is it fat enough?
I like him chunky.
Focus, damn you, focus.
It better be a nat 20.
I think Moto likes you.
If you're taking a picture of a 13, it's just not as exciting.
I got a nat 20, kids. I got a nat 20.
So as the lad walks away to the other side of the bar, you sort of lean over, you see the swear, and you're like, last Tuesday, there we go. And you are very aware that the young lad behind the bar, that the Sawdust and Swearwords, is on your bed notch.
Do you remember what his name is?
Did you ask him his name? Do you ask names, or are you just, hey babe?
Hey babe.
Right, then no, well, you have no idea what his
He
name
knows
is.
where he's from, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Making a note.
Fine ass Sawdust and Swearwords, brilliant.
Yep, that's actually going in my notes now. Now he remembers why he likes this bar, yep, Cool. That's why. Okay, cool.
He comes back shortly after if you're still at the bar. Shut up, Dave.
I'm sorry.
If you sponsor the show, you too can be in the world of Colossus, where I will throw
really
NPCs in there.
Bartenders that Ari likes. It's fine.
Spitting image of Dave, this bartender. So yeah, he comes back unless you've left the bar, but he will stand.
No, he's still there because he kind of needs to get some drinks for the others.
Yeah. Yeah, not know. Oh, so
maybe.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
That's alright. Cold on a night.
I mean, depending on how tonight goes, I might see you later. But yeah, I need to go and talk to these.
He sort of pats his hand and blushes. So what else can I get you?
Can I get I mean, I've got 4 other companions, so I guess I better get them some ale.
How many do you need?
4.
Oh, trying to remember how many people are with you.
For now.
You got a straw for the bird. Yeah. Puts another 4 ales on there. Your memory of ale never needs a roll. Any place in Ebendorf, you will remember their alcoholic flavourings. So you are aware that there is, like most of the pubs, taverns, inns on the dock in this district are definitely serving good stuff. And you now have 5 ales in front of you, including your own.
Hooray!
on the house.
Even better. Ari kind of like winks at him and is just like, see you later.
Yep. He texts that wink.
This is so weird, Amy. This is so weird.
Bex, can you just spit on me in a minute and just punch me in the face? It's a different stream, don't worry about it. Yeah, cool. So you flirted your way to 5 free ales?
Works. He kind of, tries to bring them back over.
You're given a tray.
I mean, he's pretty dexterous. He can carry a tray. He's better than me. It's fine.
Ari juggles 5 ales over to the thing. Dale, you're still outside, yeah?
No, I will have wandered in by now. Basically, taking up a seat nearby, just not with the same group for the moment.
Cool.
I'm going to put my pack underneath the seat and just sort of actually relax for a moment.
Cool. So you are sat with Xandria and Kestrion at the table. Griff, you can see dancing really well. Like obviously, you're a trained fighter, so you can see that Griff is definitely got the skills and the footwork that if ever Griff hangs up the shield and mace, longsword, could one day make it as a dancer. And you see Ari coming towards you with a unbelievable display of juggling 5 bites.
I said better than actual me.
Yeah. You are now at the table. 4 of you are at the table. 1 of you is dancing.
Ari will kind of like hand out the pints. Like, didn't know what you drank, so just assumed an ale was pretty safe.
What do you want?
I got them for free, mate.
Just because you got them for free doesn't mean you don't want something in return.
Can we not just relax and chill after like the couple of days that we've had?
Kess is watching this like tennis.
I mean, I was relaxing and chilling quite nicely until you waddled over here.
Literal view.
At the other 2 points of the table, just drinking the beer and you're like...
I mean, if you don't want it, that's fine.
I do not want anything, ever, from you.
Harry takes it back, then he's got 2 ales in front of him now, and he's got Griff's on the table, but it's like, fine.
So...
Just gonna put the pint glass down and look over at Kessia. Delphin, pleasure to meet you. Don't think we've actually properly been truly introduced. Wizard extraordinaire, you?
Kespion Summer Breeze, this is my sister, Xandria.
Oh, she's a bitch, okay.
I heard that.
At that,
I'm going to retreat
you do
into
get
the seat.
Like, a head does snap round, just be like, I'm sorry, I don't think I quite heard you there.
I mean, I buy everyone a drink just to be nice, and then, well...
Oh, I'm sorry, you said they were free, so you didn't actually buy anyone a drink.
No, but that's not really the point. We've been travelling together for like a few days, it's been stressful.
Unfortunately.
Maybe she doesn't want your drink.
Maybe I just bought everyone a drink to be nice.
Quiet free drink.
Okay, I'm gonna go join Griff.
Cool. Harry gets up with two.
I just looked up to the corner and saw Kate.
Kate's method, like she's in.
Oh, sorry, I was like just staring down ahead.
Do you take the 3 pints over to the dance floor, Harry? You're 2 and 1 for Griff.
Yep.
Cool, Harry. And Griff, you were on the dance floor. Do you dance or do you just stand there and hand over a pint?
He hands over the pint first, and then he tries to find somewhere close to put the other 2 pints. Then he dances.
Cool, give me a performance check.
Oh no.
The greatest of dice rolls.
This is where you know I'm going to get the nat 1. Oh no. It's not great.
Well, this is 10. Cool. So we'll put it down to the fact you're carrying 2 pints. But you shake that booty. It's just not as shaky as normal. And you're kind of just swaying, and you're not overly committed to the dance. Griff's going absolutely mental, like spinning on one finger. Just oh, she's calling down the Thunderbird. She's lit. Like there's no need for glow sticks. She's shield of faith in everyone. That laying hands are going off into the air. Griff
is that gif of Maurice from being the best with the rave sticks.
That was 100% what was going through my head.
There's quite a contrast as you look across. Harry's kind of swaying, doing a bit of a dab dance with the pints in his hand. And
melancholy sway.
Griff is cracking out the floss and a bit of dab. So.
Oh my god, bit of dab.
I will have taken the drink, and I'll be trying careful not to spill it. There would have been kind of the motion of...
You're doing this weird
like
catch of the beer as you're sort of dancing around.
I mean, Harry just downs one of his drinks and then catches the other and then kind of takes it back off you and is like, I'll give it you back when you want it.
Really awkward finger guns. Like just dancing.
You see a lot of the dancers around Griff start doing finger guns. You know this gothic, dark city you've just entered? Griff's just ruined it, so...
Hey, Griff.
I think you mean made it better.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, in the fields, you know what I mean? So, Dale, Finn, Xandria, and Kesfior.
Raven and Ravenholm.
You are... Yes! You are sat at the table, just 3 of you. Pointy ears.
As soon as Harry walks away and is far enough away, Xandria is just going to give the biggest of sighs and then turn to Dalefin. I'm dreadfully sorry for what you just witnessed, but I don't in particular like humans.
Okay. I mean, last I checked, there's a lot of them out there, so that's a lot of people not to just like randomly.
I know, it's difficult. But you know what? Natural selection and survival of the fittest will get them all one day.
You know those moments where you're having having a conversation with somebody who you really want to suddenly just abandon conversation from? You will actually see the chair shift ever so slightly towards the dance floor. I'll be right back and stand up and walk off.
Do you walk off, Delphin?
Yeah, I'm going to the non-racist section of the bar.
Give me a perception check. You go. Are you joining them on the dance floor?
Yeah.
Are you dancing?
Oh, gods, no.
Right, well, I'll take that as a yes. Roll a performance, Jake.
I was going to say, if you come over and you're not dancing, Griff is going to try and get you to
aggressively
dance.
dance with you, yeah.
It's going to do that thing where they pretend to like lasso you.
Performance check, yeah?
Performance, yeah. With advantage, because Griff is encouraging you to dance.
Okay.
And I love
My
it.
advantage is a 21.
Wow.
I rolled a 19.
Nice.
So Daelfin walks over with his pint, and Griff's like, "Oh yeah, another dancer." Harry sort of swayed, and you're like, Griff's nudging you, and you're like, "No, you know what I mean? Just no." And then you're like, "It says my name," and you're off. Daelfin is off. Like, you spin on one foot, you have a drink, you throw your drink in the air, don't spill any of it. There are people now like, what? Who just walked in the bath? And we've got a absolute, like, the legend that is Griff, the mythological dancer that is Daelfin, some bloke carrying pints.
I'm sorry, because of the chat, I have.
God. You have been barred, sir.
You are, blue suede shoes in it. You are you two and the people dancing, they probably, like, they're just all, you've lit up the place. They are loving the fact that there's quite a talent going on the not dance floor. You can see the landlord, like, just banging his head against the wall.
Apparently the barman's shouting warning.
Oh, that was, there you go, on cue, look at that. So yes, Zandria and Kesvion, you are left at the table. Daelfin, Griff and Ari, you are on the dance floor. Daelfin, Griff and Ari, give me perception checks, please.
Boy.
This is hearing based, if any of that affects your rolls.
I think it does.
14.
Say again?
14.
14. Ari?
3.
3?
Sorry.
3.
9.
Cool.
Oh, jeez.
So Griff and Ari they're just in the zone. They're like, yeah, whatever. Ari's trying to, like, remember, the dance of the blade, but too concentrated on the booze that's coming in, and eyeing up everyone within a bloody 30-foot radius. Griff is loving life. Daelfin, as you're busting out some moves and moonwalking in and out of the crowd, you hear bits of conversation between the dancers and people that are just sort of like talking at the side of the table that are near where the dancing bit's going on, and you hear several word sentences that come to you in, like, not full, but just every now and then. You hear mention of a Sapphire Dragon. You hear mention of the Hunter gifting the House of Tor a divine tree. You hear that that Karina Mortiz, the lady of the house, was assassinated by somebody wielding a sapphire blade. You hear words that Vincent Mortiz, the lord of the house, was the one that tried to assassinate his wife. You hear tales and, again, more rumour-esque things of Captain Berrimund turning on his loyalties for the city and trying to take over. And you get a commonality that this great fire was a distraction for all these weird and wonderful rumours to happen. Sapphire Dragon, Sapphire Swords, assassination attempts. It's all obviously hearsay and, rumour mongering in a tavern of recent events. But the common things you get are Sapphire and the Huntsman and the Great Fire are the commonalities in the rumours.
Okay, I'll sort of take a moment to sort of stall the dance, listening almost a bit too unsubtly to one or two of those. Look back at the small group in front and just give a smile, bit of a bow, and go, I'll be sat over there when you guys are done tearing this place up, and then we're going to walk to another table, somewhere that's, again, reasonably empty.
Cool, you managed to find, it's less a table, more there's like shelving around the side of the walls, and there's quite a lot of pillars in this building because of the size of it and the way it is. and you find enough of a moment to be on your Todd.
I will also then send a message over to Kestion going, are you guys still potentially looking for work?
I have a job to do, but we can be. And you'll kind of like look to Zandria and then realise she didn't hear a word of that.
I'll make a motioning over if you can see where I am at the...
You can see him. You can see him. He's not hiding. He's just out the way.
You'll kind of give Zandria like a sort of tap and like sort of head, and then kind of get up to head over.
Where are you going?
You see him walk towards Delphin. Do you follow?
Yep.
Cool.
It's like he left before, now he's moved to another table, now he wants us to come over. Could he not just come back to this table?
So, Kestion and Zandria, you get up, you avoid touching the stinky humans, and you make your way over to Delphin.
When they both sit down, I'm just going to put a finger to my lips and just tap my ears, see if they can pick up any sort of the same stuff around. Basically try and bring it more from being out of the way of everyone to being close to the middle of the tavern, see if they can hear anything as well, rumor-wise.
Okay, both of you give me perception checks. Hearing based, again, if that affects any of your...
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I see a cat in the background.
As long as it's not behind me, I'm alright.
What did you want, sorry, a perception check?
Yes, please.
Oh, perception check.
Griff's got a familiar. 23? Jesus.
23.
Caspian?
9.
9. Cool. Brilliant. You pick up your ears. Zandria, you see Delphin do that and you just sort of turn and then focus on the noise and try and drown out what you're seeing and just focus on sound. The sentences are less jumbled for you and start to form a bit more, and you hear these couple of sentences. There were the Sapphire Dragon broke into the Blood Ball, yep, and attacked Karina and Vincent. Not Vincent, is it Vincent? It is Vincent. Yep. Attacked Karina and Vincent. Captain Berrymund is looking for the group that were also part of the attack. Captain Berrymund is also looking for Prince Johann. Lady Ekiku.
God, so quick, slow down.
You got your notes now, haven't you?
Oh God. God, I can't spell. And what was the prince's name, sorry?
Prince Johann.
Johann.
Yeah.
Spell that how it sounds.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
Weird
Lady
Japanese lady.
Lady Ekiku stole the tear, as in tears, of Elmon Beleth.
Tiers, not a single tier, multiple tiers.
Yeah, so the tier, so one tier.
Oh, one tier, sorry.
Yep, sorry.
Tier of...
Elmon, E-L-M-O-N.
Yeah.
Beleth, B-A-L-L-E-T-H.
That was such a long note to write. I think I actually went off the lines. I did. I went so far off the lines.
That is pretty much what you pick up.
Okay.
Look at the pair of them.
Kession's just overwhelmed by the number of people all talking simultaneously.
Well, that is rather interesting.
What did you hear? Because all I heard was bits about sapphire dragons and husbands being disgruntled with their wives and trying to kill them.
It might be worth speaking about this in lengths in quieter situations.
As an FYI to all 5 of you, no matter your backgrounds, as far as you are all concerned, and those that brought you up taught you anything to do with anything you know, dragons do not exist anymore. They died out many, many moons ago. Carry on.
The information that is being spun around here would be best off relaying in a quieter situation.
I'll give a small nod and then look over at the 2 still on the dance floor. I imagine at least one of those is reasonably good at gathering information, provided, of course, you don't hate them at first sight.
I would be willing to work with them for a short period of time, so long as they can prove themselves useful.
Did the purple worm and the large flock of death not count?
No.
You have some pretty high standards, I'll give you that. I'll turn over towards the dance floor and just make a motion to Ari and Griff.
You see it?
I'll finish up whatever dance I'm doing. Get like kind of
the funky chicken.
Funky chicken.
Shut up.
Racist.
Rude.
That's food song.
It was the surfing bird.
Fuck off.
I'm clapping to everyone as I kind of like walk backwards towards Delphin, like kind of like thank you kind of gesture.
You get a bit of a. Some of them think it's a new dance move. Some of them get it and they clap back. But yeah, you're kind of given way to the dance floor as a lot of them are quite chuffed that they've shared a moment with Griff.
And then I'll kind of like scuttle over and be like,
Harry will follow because he's not entirely happy on the dance floor, but it's better than being with the bitch.
As Harry shouts across the tavern. So you are all in this lovely, seedy little area of the tavern.
I'll look over at, air quotes, the bitch, as it were. Do you know if you've, you say this is somewhere we should be talking more quietly and privately, yeah?
Yes.
I'll look over at Ari. Think you can get us a back room here to talk in privately?
More than likely.
We kind of need one, if possible, please.
Okay. Goes back. Does anyone need another drink? Does anyone want a drink? Do I have to ask this every time?
Yes,
Griff looks confused.
The eyebrow of death.
Harry goes back over to the bar then without any answers and just is going to
no,
get
Delphin
4
answered. I
ales.
spoke over him.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So you
Harry
got...
kind of looks towards Caspian like...
He'll just kind of like almost like avoid eye contact just a little bit.
I will look at Caspian. If you want to have a drink and he is offering to buy you a drink, and you want a drink, you can have a drink. Just because I don't want one doesn't mean you don't have to have one. That didn't
No,
work English.
Harry's already gone.
Got some here. It's fine.
Harry
Griff's just
goes
kind
up
of
to
sipping
his-
his like, what the hell is happening? I don't get it.
I will message Griff with the, it's not safe to ask, just smile away.
It's not safe to ask.
Harry goes up to his friend at the bar and goes, "Can I have 4 ales, please?"
You can indeed. And he puts 4 ales on. One of your friends left?
She doesn't like me. It's okay.
Shock and horror on the lad's face. Although a slight win in his eye. So, there's your drinks.
He actually slides across money for it.
As you're putting the coins on, clearly you leave your hand there, and clearly he touches it. And takes the coinage. Costs you a silver, 2 silver, for the 4.
And kind of, as he's kind of like sliding his hand across, he kind of turns his hand to like kind of grasp his hand, and is like, "Can you sort me out with the back room? With me and have a chat."
He's like.
He clarified, okay? Me and my friends to have a chat.
He rolled a 2, he's yours. So he looks at you, and then the penny drops, and he's like, okay, checking his watch.
And then later you can use that room.
Yeah, I can sort out a back room. Now? Or later, or?
If you could, and then hopefully it'll be free later on.
I won't say what's happening beneath the bar, but it's all good. He reaches behind just takes one of the keys off the pegboard at the back, and it's got a number 60. No, it's number 4.
Don't be that guy.
He's got 68. What's up with you? It's got number 4. It's got a number 4 on it, and he's like, just down the hallway at the back, and there are rooms on every floor here.
Cool. He kind of takes it and just like, thank you. We'll see you later.
He's very happy with the outcome of that conversation.
Harry kind of swaggers across the room with his 4 ales. It's just kind of like, and his little key on the tray as well. It's like, well, there's an ale for each of you, and I might have a room.
Excellent. Are we okay using it now? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
When? All right. I'll stand up, grab my pack, stick it over.
You have a feeling, Harry, you've got the room for about an hour.
I don't.
And deja vu.
It's just like, yeah, we won't have it for like all night, but we can at least have just a quiet place to chat.
I mean, it's probably about 6 now. It's the light, like there's mainly candle light in here because once you're in the city and everything's more enclosed around the higher buildings and stuff, and the sun almost gone. It feels like night time, but you obviously feel energized as you slept till midday.
Cool. Okay, Ari will lead the way to number 4.
Cool. As you go past the bar, and there is a wide corridor, and you can now see rows of doors, and then it turns right again at the far end. This is very much a inn, and plenty of rooms for those wanting to stay over once and not visit around the city. They do their job, they go back on their ship, they bugger off. It's nice to have a bed for the night. The room 4 is exactly that, 4 doors down. You go in, you try the key, it unlocks straight away. There is nobody in there. There is 4 double beds, so it's a very large room. Double beds, double bunks, top and bottom. So there's a bowl with keys in it. You all go in, and there's like a table in the middle with a bowl of fruit and a couple of candles, and it's got a very archaic look. Like the bunks, the wood of the bunks is dark and old. It's very old and historic. It's like sleeping in a museum. But you get that feeling from most of what you've seen so far with the architecture. You're in room 4. All of you are in there.
I'll pull up a seat, stick my pack under the table, sit myself down.
Griff will make sure everyone else has a seat first, and if he has to sit somewhere else, like on the bed or something, he will. But if there's enough seats for everyone, then great.
You notice a little hearth with a small fire going in. It's nice and warm, is the room.
Toasty.
And he kind of puts the drinks down on the table. And it's just like, you wanted a room? We got a room.
You wanted a private? We've got some private. I'll motion towards. I'll motion towards air quote the bitch.
Ari rolls his eyes.
So you, Dalefin, it was.
That is my name, yes.
You mentioned that you had picked up some gossip around the tavern. I managed to pick up also said gossip. Sounds like something very interesting is going on in this city. You mentioned something about a Sapphire Dragon, correct?
I couldn't hear a lot of the music. I got bits and bobs, some bits about a Sapphire Dragon, an assassination going on with a Sapphire Blade, someone tried to kill their wife, the guy in charge, like the sheriff, the constable, he seems to have apparently turned on the entire of this place. I got bits.
Right. I think I managed to get a bit more clarity on this entire situation that seems to be unfolding. As we're all pretty much aware, there are no such things as dragons anymore. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
I just assumed one of the fancy code name.
Yeah, I would too imagine that it is a fancy code name. The Sapphire Dragon apparently broke into the Blood Bowl and assassinated Lady Mortive.
So, Ari, you immediately know that the Blood Ball is a very prestigious ball that everyone all over the world gets invited to this. And you are very aware that the reason they get invited there is so Vincent and Karina, the Lord and Lady, can essentially brag and show off and show how powerful and strong they are. And it's more of a go away and tell your folks just what you witnessed mentality. Yeah.
Ari kind of like looks really shocked. He's like, have you guys not heard of the Blood Bowl?
Didn't get that much.
Okay, well, it's a really fancy thing, and it's a really big thing in this area. Basically, Vincent and Karina like invite everybody to come, and it's a big deal if you get invited to it. The fact that Karina's got assassinated.
That's what the gossip is.
AD.
Yeah.
Would I have known what the Blood Bowl was?
Give me a history check.
Just more out of my own curiosity than anything. Oh yeah, that's probably about right. Hold on, I rolled a 7 and my intelligence is pretty low. History +1, 8.
It's not ringing any bells.
Okay.
Just whatever Ari says, you can only imagine it is.
So not only that, but this Captain Berrymund, I think their name is looking for the culprits, and also happens to be looking for somebody called Prince Johann, whoever that is. Anyone at all?
Would Ari know who that is?
Ari, you don't know who Prince Johann is. You are very aware that Captain Berrymund is a 8-foot plate armoured wearing minotaur that is in charge of the defences of the city and anything that requires smashing, as in beating up, not Ari. Just for clarification.
Just for clarification. Just.
And you don't need a perception roll. You have never laid with Captain Berrymund.
If you had, oh boy.
It's probably
The
why you
mention of
can't dance.
Berrymund Griff will have pulled out the parchment that he got from Delphin earlier and would have slid it over, just to kind of be like, and probably said Berrymond in Zandria's voice, as someone who said it recently.
2 seconds ago.
Yeah, 2 seconds ago. Yeah, we'll just be like, Berrymond.
Zandria's gonna look at Griff and just be like, because that's not creepy at all.
Frowny face.
But
he's
yes.
still tapping the paper for you to look at it.
Okay, I can, yes. It says Berrymond on the paper, yes.
What does it say?
Something about a fire?
Yeah, it says, for clarity, if you needed it, it says about the fire in the Loop district.
Yeah.
And if anyone had any witnesses, they needed to speak to Captain Berrymond. If anyone was a witness, not if they had any witnesses.
Are there any witnesses?
Also,
a whole
that
different
the
ballpark.
source was the Cave of the Bat Tavern.
So, Ari, you know of the Cave of the Bat. It is a very small shanty tavern that is essentially a one-person bar that was, or is, owned, run by a human called Marcus, a panther tabaxi, and they are well known for helping your friends get jobs. But they're the sort of jobs that Griff probably wouldn't do. There was no massive fire when you left Ebendorf. So this has happened whilst you've been away, so it's recent-ish.
Okay, so I was here not too long ago and there wasn't a fire there. I know that area. There wasn't a fire there when I was last here, and I know where that tavern is if we need to go there. So, like, we can go check it out. But Captain Berrymond is, like, he's an intimidating dude. He's pretty damn tall. He's a big Minotaur dude, and he's the captain. He's in charge of everybody.
Well, it's interesting that this Captain Berrymond is investigating not only the attack on Lady Motive, but also the fire. I don't think it's a far stretch to say that they're both at the same time. Coincidence, not so much.
Some of the things I was hearing was saying that it was some sort of distraction, perhaps.
I think the fire was indeed a distraction, long enough for the Sapphire Dragon to get in and do their business.
Diothin, give me a wisdom save.
9.
Cool. For a very brief moment, you see yourself cleaning your shadow katana on the bed in front of you. It lasts about 0.5 of a millisecond. You recognise the look on your face as one of intent, and then you're back in the room.
Is it the same kind of things I've seen in the past?
Correct.
You will see me just pay no attention to everyone for a moment, just go. And then look back at everyone. Sorry, glazed over a bit there.
Does that happen often?
More than I'd like to admit.
There was another piece of information I did pick up whilst tuning into the merriment downstairs. A Lady Akiku has apparently stolen the tear of Elmond Balif.
One more time. What name?
Lady Akiku.
But that's stolen. Lady, I'm aware. I have the briefing. Does that sound like it's something she'd do?
She is the male. I'm on the wrong bit. She's the gaffer of Clan Natsu. So
yeah,
yeah, like
that That's what I was thinking.
Stealing gems is not really her thing. Anyone who wishes to attempt to recognise the tier, give me a religion check. Or you can choose not to give monkeys.
I mean, I'll just roll because it's been a while since I've rolled something, but I can't imagine this is going to go well.
16 for Griff.
18.
18.
What?
Kess?
8.
Nice. At least you rolled. Sandria, do you care?
Not in particularly, no.
Cool. So, Delphin, what did you get?
6.
So, alright, so Griff and Ari. Moving swiftly on. So, you are aware that they are a entity. They've been referred to as god, goddess, just divine, etc. of life and fertility. So you have heard the name Elmon Beleth a couple of times. It is said that the tears of Elmon Beleth are what causes that life and fertility to be so strong. Ari, your interpretation and stories of the tear of Elmon Beleth as that it was a gift from somewhere in the north. You've no idea, you just know it was a gift to those of to King Reinhardt, yep, which is your history of, you know, feck knows how long ago. This was a gift from some nation, kingdom, empire, person in the north. You can't quite remember the story, but it was a gift to King Reinhardt when the empire was Reinhardt's and not just Ravenholm. Griff, your interpretation of the tear of the Elmer Beleth is it is the tears of. Now I need to pull Griff stuff. Yay! Oh, why didn't I just stick to dungeon bashing? It's a tear of the Phoenix. So one of your behemoths. So one of the great sky behemoths. Elmon Beleth is the name that a lot of your that you heard a lot when referring to the Phoenix when you were growing up. Okay. And it is the tears of that Phoenix that brings about life.
And then the sky crows came down and we were in initiative.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's enough exposition for you.
Lady Akika's not a thief. She's the sister of my clan lord. If anything, and she wants something stolen, she'd have people do it for her. She's definitely not done it herself. That much I can tell you for certain. I mean, her boat's down in the docks, so...
Boat.
You know of this person?
You've never met her?
Can't say I've met him personally, but I know some bits of reputation. She's the Summer's Warmth. She's the... As I say, she's the sister of my clan leader. There's definitely, like I say, she's not the kind of person who would go out of her way to do something so menial.
Interesting. And you said that her ship is docked outside, down the road?
Does this room have any windows?
It does not.
I'm just going to nod. Yeah, at the dock back that way, I noticed it before coming in here. The Crabapple Blossom Clan's boat ship is that way. I'm assuming she's got an invite to this ball, whatever it is, but she'll have not stolen anything.
I mean, the Blood Bowl invites so many different people from so many areas that like that doesn't surprise me at all. It's more the fact of like who would have the goal to assassinate Karina. Like that's the thing that they host every year. Like it's a really big event of the season,
which makes it a prime location and time to assassinate someone.
As you are all dwelling on your thoughts of assassination and thievery of nobles and etc., we will take a 10-minute brew break so I can make a brew, run to the toilet. We will be back at about 10, so it gives you 10 minutes, folks, to run away and do your thing. So, what you will now see before you is lots of people that have been involved in Arcane Script and the channel, etc. So much thanks to them as you see it, and hopefully you'll still all be here in 10 minutes. So. Oh, you should all be able to hear us again. Yay! Hello, Mule. Yeah, right, sorry. I said hello.
Mew mew.
Mew mew.
Mew mew.
We left our lovely adventurers having a quiet chat in room number 4 in the tavern stroke inn known as the Sawdust and Swearwords. You will find out a fair amount of local knowledge, what's going on in the city. Thank you. And you are currently discussing said information you have found. So 3, 2, 1, you are back in the room.
Well, if this Lady Kiku's ship is currently docked and down the road, maybe we should go have a conversation with her and get her point of view on this whole entire situation.
Well, I think we should probably check the captain first, because if she's definitely being accused of thievery, you're probably going to find she may not have made it back to that particular ship.
Or we could always check out the ship en route to said captain.
I mean, they're not too far. Like, the area where he's supposed to be isn't too far.
There we go then. If they're not that far from each other, we might as well swing by the ship on the way to the captain.
I mean, we certainly can do that. Alternatively, I can go see the captain and take one person with me and some of the people go to the ship.
That also works, actually.
I'm going to look over at Griff. Fancy coming with me?
Are you sure you don't want to take,
No, I'm good.
So...
I can speak the language of this one. It'll make things easier in the long run.
I have a question. Not that this doesn't all seem very interesting, but why are we doing any of this?
Actually, that's a good point. Why are we being roped into something that's got nothing to do with us?
Well, I at least now know why I'm being roped into it, because my clan leader's sister's just been accused of theft. I can't speak for the rest of you.
Griff just points at his shield.
I think that answers that question. The little Kenku wants to do her protection.
I think
which is honourable.
The only person that actually has relatively local knowledge to this. So, like, it's a big deal. It's going to affect everything. That's why everyone's talking about it.
But doesn't even then doesn't trekking down, like that's a foreign dignitary. That's kind of above.
I forgot to mention, my lady sister and my lady are both a Ladrin. If a proper issue starts kicking off involving pointed ears around here, I think we're all in the firing line. I'll point at myself and the two twins.
And that is why we are now involved, Kess.
I'm not saying that it's not going to have knock-on effects. I'm just saying it seems like it's the job of someone who probably gets paid to deal with this. Like the captain of the guards, or all these people that have been going around wearing red.
Yes, but Kess, it's very obvious that the captain is asking for help. He's put up little posters.
Oh, okay. I guess.
We can continue with what we need to do later. I mean, let's be honest, we don't even know where he is at the moment, so it makes no difference.
Ari's not even going to ask.
I'm going to sit here with one eyebrow, Mr. Spocking.
So.
I'm just looking at Delphin like, I don't think I need to explain.
Did my cameras cut out there? Because didn't do it intentionally.
It did. It's
Wasn't
back.
me.
It's back. It's fine as long as it's just.
I am going to see if Kess picks up on the eyebrow raise. He doesn't. That was a 5.
Eyebrow raise going
I'm
all over
not
the
being
place.
subtle.
There you rolled a 5.
Why? That's why Zandria outrightly just said, "I don't think I need to explain."
So, you've all ish come to the agreement that you are involved.
Well, apparently so. The siblings did not want to be involved. The wizard has made them involved.
Goddamn wizards.
Wizards.
You see a hobbit and fireworks going off in the distance. So,
I was nowhere near. I am not involved.
so what's your plan, kids?
Right. I'll take Griff and we'll go look, go check with the captain, see if he knows anything. If you want to go down to the ship and see if you can find out information there, it might go a little better since you, 1, share a race with my lady's sister, and 2, are not wearing and obviously somewhat connected to the whole situation. You may be able to pass off as something else.
Like desert folk.
Like this is fun, yeah.
I'm going to point to Ari, or like somebody who's experienced with this area.
Are you sure you don't want to take?
Do you even remember my name? Do you?
I never asked for your name.
It's Ari.
I'm just going to put one arm on Griff's shoulder and we're going to slowly slink out.
Surely it would be wise to take the human with you who knows about the captain.
Sorry, can't hear you at the sound of door closes.
Delphin and Griff, I'm assuming, have left the tavern. Kesfion, Zandria, and Ari, you are left in the tavern. I know where them two are going. What are you three doing? Other than
Staring at
rolling
the door,
initiative.
glaring daggers, waiting for it to burst into flames.
I hate that.
Kesfion's just going to kind of like look between the two of them and just kind of like drum his fingers on the table a bit. Like, so
I'm gonna.
should we go to the ship or should we check out where the fire was? I'm not sure what we can find on the ship. I'm not even sure we should be near the ship.
I mean, they've gone to talk to the captain, who is investigating the fire, and is looking for witnesses. So, therefore, we should probably go and look at, well, go to the ship. But none of us really know what we're asking for, or who we're asking. But we can give it a shot.
I do need a actual...
Okay, and he'll just kind of like stand up and just like, as awkwardly as that sounds was, just kind of stand there and kind of look between them and just kind of like take one kind of side step towards the door and just kind of like look at them.
So as the DM, where are you going?
The ship.
Cool. Just checking that no one's pulling a knife. So, Delphin,
No,
Griff.
we're going to the ship.
Delphin and Griff, you are going to go looking for Captain Berryman, yep?
Mm-hmm.
Kesfion, Zandria, Ari, you are off to the elven ship in the docks, in the port, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Delphin and Griff, you leave the tavern. Are you just grabbing a random person? Are you grabbing some of the guards walking past?
Pretty much what my plan was going to look down at Griff, and I'll, again, for the majority of this will just be a message to allow Griff the ability to actually communicate back. So just, do we just ask around? Do you know of anywhere around here? Have you ever been here before?
I don't know this place. It's probably best to ask someone who knows them. So a guard?
Sounds good to me. Look for the biggest group of guards with the largest amount of armor.
So, not far, like down the path, you see a group of about 5. One of them is clearly of Minotaur, blood visual, and then the human guards with them. And they've sort of got their back to you, and they're just walking. They're not like patrolling, marching, or anything like this. They're just ever present, and the dock area of the city is rather large, and more likely to be the place something kicks off with so many non-Ebendorfians in the place. And yeah, you approach, they turn, they look you up and down. Daelfin, the elf.
Yep.
And there is a moment, and one steps forward and she says, "How can we help?"
Let me guess. It's the outfit, right? It's not quite fitting to the frame. No sense of humor. Got it. Hi, here to basically get in touch with the Captain Berryman.
Why?
I've seen a bunch of bits of paper saying he's either looking for witnesses or some sort of assistance in this investigation thing, and I've just come into town with my friend here and a bunch of others, in with some dwarves and some fisher folk.
She looks at Griff, looks back at you. She holds her gaze on Griff's shield for a moment, and then looks back at you, Daelfin.
We're basically looking to A, see if we can help, B, make some money, and I'll point at the symbol I've got that's nothing like the one on the boat, and possibly find out what the hell's happening involving one of my not quite clanmates.
Give me persuasion with disadvantage for your no sense of humour comment.
Sounds about right. Wink wonk.
Wink wonk.
Wink wonk. I guess wink wonk.
Can't aim it.
Muted.
Because I have to switch windows to D&D Beyond. With disadvantage, I have a 15 because I have a +0 on persuasion.
Jesus. The captain, you can find him about 20 minutes down that way. You can't miss him.
It's gravy time.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you to your duties now and just sort of sidle away alongside with Griff and start heading in the direction pointed.
Cool. They go about their business. Thank you for the follow. Zach, how dare you? How bloody dare you? So, you start heading down the path, and you quite quickly, you get about 15 minutes into your walk down the cobblestones, you can see more of the buildings, and they sort of go from tavern, merchant of leatherwork, another tavern, a merchant of armour, another tavern, an alchemist, a fishing shop, i.e. tools to fish, and selling, like it's just, but there's always a tavern. You see before you, towering above the crowds, standing-ish 8 feet, a clear Minotaur in their crimson plate armour with a enormous greatsword on their back. They have no patrol with them, and the people around the Minotaur are parting like Moses and the Red Sea. Other Moseses are available.
You can take him.
No verbal response, just...
Griff loses hit points just on that statement as you are muted.
I'm staring directly at this guy, and there is a mild look of, oh, he can bench press me with one finger, let alone a hand.
And you can assume that you are gazing upon Captain Berryman.
Right, gather his attention.
How?
In a way that doesn't get me turned to jam.
Alright, a bit more detail on that.
Just
your last attention-grabbing, humourless statement.
Captain Berryman, is it?
You see the monstrosity turn. Just nod.
Daelfin, Clanakuma, I'll point to the symbol.
The yellow eyes look like they are all over you. They're like, one of them. What clan?
Akuma. Not the one from my lady's sister. I'm mostly here just to see if you need any assistance in your investigations, specifically involving, and I'll hold up a piece of paper.
He steps close, so he's about 3-4 feet from you. He's full 8 foot and 400 pound before you had the plate armor. Looks down upon you. Did you witness the fire?
I did not. We only arrived very recently. However, there is some talk going around that it potentially had some tangential involvement with Lady Akika.
He's not a fan of the name when you say it. There's a twitch.
I can see that I'm not too far away from that statement. Is it possible to offer the assistance of Clan Akuma in helping clear some of this up?
You expect me to trust a thief's kindred?
Well, I'll be honest, I only came in today, so I don't know what my trustworthiness level is to you as of yet. However, I'll point down at Griff. This one demonstrates the highest level of trustworthiness, and I'm sort of following him around. So he's offered assistance, I'm being the talk.
Berriman looks at Griff. And as he looks at you, he clenches his fists, and the armoured gauntlets, they have a blue, like a shocking blue colouring that looks like lightning that goes all the way around them. It doesn't come off. It's like the etching itself, the engravement lights up, like he's activated something. Can you both give me charisma saves?
Oh, okay, I rolled decently. This is good.
13.
21.
Jesus. Cool. Delphin, you're in a zone of truth. Griff, you're in a zone of truth. You give no fucks. So, for those at home, Delphin, you cannot speak a deliberate lie whilst within the radius. And you are aware that the spell has been cast, and thus can avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. So you are aware that you are under a zone of truth. Griff, you are aware that the zone of truth has been cast upon you. You are also aware that it took no effect. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh. I was about to just be like, don't worry about it, but I rolled decently. 15.
Cool. You are also aware that the caster knows it hasn't taken effect on you.
Cool.
Speak.
Well.
He's looking at Griff.
He's gonna kind of like he's racking his brain for like, what do I say? But the first thing he does, he pulls out notebook. He flips to the back page, and on the back page is the symbol of the Thunderbird. And he's just gonna hold it up as if that's gonna help.
Give me a
point,
persuasion check with advantage.
I can just see
yes. Oh, yes, that's a good roll. Okay, I'm just rolling nicely. Is it persuasion?
Yeah.
I'm proficient in that. That's a 22.
He just looks at you and he's like, brother! So, as you show him the picture and you point, Berriman makes a bit of a movement, and he's moving his chain and his armour, and you can see the fur and robes underneath, because footwear and chainmail when you're furry. And it pulls down, and you can see on his neck, and like there's almost a branding in his fur, and you recognise it as the great behemoth, the Rock, as in ROC. Jesus Christ, I just realised that when I said it out loud.
The rock.
Well, I'm getting sued.
Now we have to worry about the people's elbow. Understood.
Jesus.
It doesn't have a K on the end. It's fine. It's a different rock. On seeing
It's not referred to as the rock. It's just that you see the rock.
On seeing that, Griff will just be like, "Oh, like yes, good."
You also know, Griff, that is outside of your land. That is not a thing.
What's not a thing?
Worshipping your behemoth.
Okay, so he's still gonna have the same reaction, and then he's gonna kind of contemplative tilt head, and he's gonna reiterate a lot of what's been said. I think. I wrote down a lot. He's gonna kind of be like, what did you just ask about, AJ? I'm sorry, my brain's gone blank. Like, what did you say we were helping with?
I said that we're willing to help him with whatever investigations. We're fresh and new to this place, and that you're the most trustworthy person out of the pair of them.
He's going to be relaying stuff in the voices of the party, much to the tune of hearing lots of rumors, pokes out names like, you know, Lady Akiku. I think the prince was mentioned by Sandria. Was it Prince Johann? It's just going to be names that he's plucking, and he's just kind of be like,
Sapphire Dragon as well.
Yes, Sapphire Dragon gets mentioned as well. The Blood Ball gets mentioned.
Give me an insight.
If he's missing bits out, it's less that he's doing it on purpose and more that he's trying to pluck the most memorable things that would kind of be like, this is why I want to help. I've heard these things.
As you're speaking or reiterating, etc., both of you give me insight checks.
Yeah, that's a bit more like
that
it.
is a 14.
It's a 10.
More so you, Delphin, you notice at the mention of Lady Akiku, disgust, thievery, lowest of the low, as like just the sheer mention of her name sets something off. His eyes like glaze. The mention of, what did you say, Prince Johann, indifferent. There's no real reaction to Prince Johann, just a name he does recognise, but there's no reaction. Sapphire Dragon, you see that same look in the eyes of new warriors when they're wanting to beat the bigger dog. Yep. Griff, you get an element of that, but
okay.
Delphin, you spot it on the way.
After mentioning the Sapphire Dragon, he's going to repeat the phrase that someone said before, I think it was Andrea, of very much the tune of, I think we all know that dragons don't exist. And then tilt ahead.
He starts to laugh. Ha ha! Do they not?
He's going to say back in the exact same way, do they not?
Yeah, he tilts his
head
head. It is an opinion of those that are wrong.
Short head nod, like, okay.
Valid.
I will accept your aid, Thunderbird.
He's going to hands together, kind of slight bow, like, thank you. And he's going to say thank you.
I will, however, hold you responsible for anything he does. My point's at Delphin.
I will just offer a small smile, put both my hands behind my back, and just sort of stand at ease.
Griff will nod at the responsibility thing and kind of look at Delphin with the...
I'll send a message. Don't worry, I'm not going to cause much trouble.
much.
How can you help?
Well, we could probably use some more information on what's actually happened before anything else. All we're working on at the moment is rumour, and rumours aren't valid or useful info.
A dragon, and he leans in dead close to Delphin, attacked the house. The Lord and Lady came close to death. I will end the dragon's life. The fire was started by Lady Akiku, and he spits to the ground. The thievery of that elf. Again, his eyes are just boring into Delphin. There is no honor in thievery. I will end, and her guardian will also feel my blade.
Oh, I pushed the honor button.
Yeah.
For the first time since this, rather than the flippant sort of super happy nature, the second he mentions that, I'm going to, unless he's being deliberately over intimidating, I'm going to slightly square up and go, I don't believe anyone from the land of Vey is without honor, and I'm happy to help prove it at some point. Hopefully by clearing my lady's name, of course.
He just sort of stands back away from you. Challenge accepted. Find out where Lady Akiku is. Find her cowardly guardian. And I will consider you have helped.
Very well then. I'll motion to Griff. By your leave, boss.
He's gonna... He's gonna try and give like a salute, but Griff is by no means trained in any army, so it's probably going to be wrong in some way, but it'll be like a little aye aye, thumbs up.
Before Berriman...
voice.
Someone's voice.
This is the problem. I write things down, and I know I've written things down. There we go. Baldebac's voice. Thank you, and stay safe.
Yes. Second level. So Berriman looks back at you. Are any of your companion, don't put plural on it, sorcerers?
Not to my knowledge.
Warlocks?
Not to my knowledge.
Druids?
Not to my knowledge.
When you find the thief, come and find me. In I need more monitors.
The pet.
Come find me in the district of the fire. You know this to be the district of beasts, the noble district, Harry, if it gets mentioned to you.
We'll do that. Look forward to seeing with some positive results, sir.
Turns, walks away, and the people that have kind of started forming again behind Berriman see that Berriman's turned and quickly part again. He's heading in a direction away from the dock district, and the district's massive. You know, you're in a city, but he's heading. You came in the door, so you're just on the outskirts of it. Over to Zandria, Kesfion, and Ari. You go down onto the docks. Bam, 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 bam. Let's get all the notes in the world. You go down onto the docks. As said before, there are well over double figures amount of massive 3-mast ships in this dock area. There's piers going all the way down, 2 or 3 ships on like either side, and one's at the far end, that T-shaped. There's excuse me, and you they are all flying the 2 bull horns on a red background flag are the immediate ones that you see, which you can see on various banners and drapes and stuff that are kind of just hanging on walls and stuff. That is the symbol of the House of Tor. You come across 2 ships that stand out more than the rest. The ship across the way, the elven ship, as you come closer, you can see that it is again sleeker in design. The sails are layered, so instead of one big sail, they have smaller layered sails on these 3 masts. It's got a fan-esque design to it, so the way some of the wood and curvature of the boat is designed, it looks like it's fanned, like a fan's opened, and it's just got a sleeker look to it. You can see that the symbol, the clan symbol, flag, is no longer there. It's been taken down. You would have seen it dale thin, but it is no longer there. There are quite a lot of Ebendorf guards on the pier around that ship, and the people of the ship seem to be on it, and they are dressed very similar to Dalethin, but their colours are of a, well, not far off your own people's. They are summer reds and oranges and yellows aboard this ship, and it does look like that ship is on a lockdown. There is another ship that stands out, and it has a similar design to that of those in Ravenholm, but it's only a single mast and looks as though it is a fast ship. Yep, it is designed for speed rather than bulk. There is a black wing on the on like the flying flag for it. There is like a beigey background and a crystal clear, like it's been printed this morning, black wing. And a lot of the people running up and down on the boat and working the dock area around it are dressed similar to those of Ravenholm, but you can see the odd, you know, there's a dwarf in there, there's an elf, but again dressed like those of Ravenholm. They seem to be, they just stick out because of that mix. But they're the 2 ones that stick out the most. The dock itself is rammed with dock workers. There, as you come down, like off the cliff bit and down onto the main dock area, there is warehouses. There are people got ferrying backwards and forwards, barrels, smaller kegs, sacks, crates, bolts of cloth that are just on their shoulders. It's just backwards and forwards from all these ships that are in there. They've clearly gone out and are coming back to dump cargo. And you can see other ships getting loaded up with cargo going back out. And you approach the elven ship, correct?
Yep. No, not yet.
Oh, cool.
That seems like a bad idea. That seems like a bad idea.
Cool.
Walking down onto the dock.
Yeah, so you're saying that you would say the colours that we're wearing seem quite similar to the people that are currently being held on house arrest on the boat.
It's more, so the colours, yes, but the definition of fashion, different.
Completely different.
You are clearly
I'm just
desert
aware
folk.
that we are 2 other pointy-eared individuals wearing the same colours as people they're not super fans of.
Nobody stopped you on the way down.
Same colours, because they're wearing reds and oranges. We ain't wearing reds and orange.
You also
we
weren't
have
stopped.
browns, turquoises.
We're browns and turquoises and...
Yeah, you just recognise the summer colours. And no one stopped.
Sorry, my brain was like, I don't care what we're in.
You haven't been stopped and you've been in the city a good hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so nobody seems to be like, cool.
And you've walked past plenty of guards. None of them. They've give you a look, but no one's reacted.
Okay, that's good. Just when you were describing there, I was like, oh dear.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh bother.
Harry would have
Oh,
given the key
bother.
back to the barkeeper, by the way. He wouldn't have just walked off with the key to the room.
Brilliant. See ya. Cool.
Bye!
He takes the key and puts it in his pocket. He doesn't put it back on the pegboard.
Noted.
Wow, chicken, wow. Anyway.
That'll be an after midnight stream, so tune in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we're wandering down. Is it possible to keep an ear out for
For what? What you specifically?
for any kind of noise which seems to either be guards talking about what's going on, or
So on your way there is essentially a bit where it gets to. There is a gap in the parking spaces, the pier, before you get to the Elven ship. There is a space between where the people are working on that last ship, then a stretch of ground where there is no guards, people walking about, so they've kept it clear. Any of the guards or people that you are listening to on the way down, they do mention like house arrest. Did you hear about them stealing from the Lord and Lady? Did you hear about them killing the lady? Apparently, very much the same sort of rumours that you were hearing bits and bobs in the pub. And knowing what Xandria's told you and Delphin's told you, you almost hear them now instead of having to listen. So you they're just buzzwording at you. And so there's the same rumours of Sapphire Dragons, assassination attempts, thieving elves, etc. You do hear a new rumour that is the missing guard of Lady Akiku.
he will just automatically relay that back to Xandria if she hasn't already picked up on it. And also, I don't think they're gonna just let us on to this boat.
Watch me.
Eldritch Blast, there we go.
Oh no. We do things in a civilized.
Is Ari close enough to actually be in conversation with them, or is he like
with who?
With the other two?
Oh,
that's
no, that's
your
up
call.
to you, my
I would
dude.
say that's your call, Larry. Are you close enough to hear them converse?
I mean, I'd like to think so, in that they're supposed to be working together as a team, but hey, you know.
We are working together as a team. And then there's you.
Oh, God. So, is Harry...
Oh, even in character! Watching you!
Leon is not being outwardly aggressive towards you unless you seem to be going at heads with Xandria.
No,
I think I think you've had enough tips at this point to kind of pick up that you're not on his radar unless
He's alright with Cass. He's alright with Cass.
Kicking off.
He's like, you accepted my drink, it's fine.
Brownie points.
He's kind of more curious about hearing what exactly has gone on, and if going to the ship with you two is going to do that, then sure, he'll kind of let you take the lead if needs be. But he'll be close by and kind of be like, how do you want to do this? There's a lot of guards there.
I still don't know what we're expecting to take away from this. And he's just going to kind of like shrug and kind of look between the two of them and like just kind of like rest his hands on like the hilts of his scimitars and just kind of like.
Xandria has at this point walking straight up to the guard nearest the ship.
So you've walked across the stretch of ground that's empty towards the ship, yeah?
Yep.
So as you do that, you do notice that the guards now sort of become a bit more to attention, and there are arrows in their at the strings, but they're not firing. They're sort of like down rather than aiming at you. You approach.
Oh, good.
One of the guards comes forward. I'm choking to death. He takes his helmet off. He's got the reminiscence of probably long hair once upon a time, but it's very thin. You can see the scalps coming down. Very on the edge of retirement sort of guy. Comes forward. Halt! And he's got his hand up like this. Do you halt?
I halt as close as I'm getting, yeah.
Cool. So you get to about 15 feet from him. What is your business?
I am here to interrogate the crew members aboard that ship.
For what reason?
For the reason that they are currently under house arrest because their lady appears to have committed a crime. I want to find out where she is.
And who are you?
My name is Andrea Summerbreeze.
And who are you to these people?
I am of no one to these people, but they are not my people.
Kesfion and Ari, give me a perception check.
Kesfion, having seen that she's just like bolted off, will like trot after her and like, oh shit.
Raisin balls.
14.
14.
Perception. That is a 19.
So 14 and 19, yeah?
Yup.
Cool. As Zandria and the guard are conversing, you notice to your away from the ship, near where the stone walling is to start raising up to like another level of the docks and other area going on, hiding as close as they can to the shadows, there is an elf with a half, like their helmet is in their hand and looks like it's been cut in half. The half that they've got in their hand looks like that of a falcon or a hawk, or it's got that similar shape to it. They have similar robes to what Daelthin wears. The leather armour they are wearing has a green ivy filigree across it. They have a curved longsword in their hand. They are bent over. You can see something dripping. They're in the shadows. You can assume it's blood. They sort of look around and then meld into the stone. Yep. So they assess the situation and just literally become one with the stone. Zandria, back over to you. Give me a persuasion check.
Ooh, persuasion. I was like looking there, I was like, +4, that doesn't sound right. No, Jade, +2. Intimidation is a +4.
I've got +4. Should have let me talk.
18.
Cool.
My +2.
He puts his hand down slowly instead of fast. You see the archers relax. They still keep hold of our rope, but relax. I will give you 1 hour.
1 hour is all I need. Thank you.
And then he lets Zandria through. Kesfion and Ari, as you look at this this elf merge with the stone, you look back and Zandria's heading through the guards up the plank of the ship.
Walking with purpose, head tall, like I am better than all of them.
He's just going to jog after Zandria.
As you jog after Zandria, the same guard walks up to you, halt, and puts his hand in the air.
He'll halt.
You're 15 feet from him. Purpose?
Yep. And he'll just kind of like point over to Zandria. Right. I'm with my sister.
You hear
If I
it?
can hear him, I'll have stopped, turned around, and just shouted back. He speaks the truth. That is my sibling. Please allow him through so he can assist me in the interrogations.
You have 1 hour. And he steps aside.
He'll kind of give a sharp nod and like jog on up after.
Cool. Ari, what are you doing? She's my cousin.
Yes.
Being as he doesn't look anything like them, Can't really claim family with them at all, and he can't really, to be honest, he doesn't really want to mess with the guards in the dock because they look kind of scary. So he's actually going to go, is the other ship that you mentioned nearby? In fact, no.
It is not far from you.
Okay.
You do notice, by the way, that the guards guarding this ship, none of them are the hulking animals or beasts that you've seen with the other patrols. They all just appear to be human in size and shape.
Okay. Where he saw the elf disappear into the stone, can he go and investigate that area?
You would have to cross the space that is left, which is clearly there as a killing ground for the archers. So if you were to step into it, you are aware. So from the looks of it, this elf turned up, realised the situation, and then ran.
Okay. Interesting. He's gonna have to go and talk his way through, isn't he? Flipping heck, didn't want to do that. Okay, yeah, he basically follows.
So you're not going to the other ship? It's your call. I just need to know which notes to bring up.
I think he's gonna go to the other ship because the other ship looks more familiar to him.
You're off to the Black Wing?
Yes.
Cool. As Xandria and Kesfion are let through by the guards, you notice in Elven, etched on where the gap in the deck area of the ship is, on either side in Elven it says the Wandering Leaf. In Elven, on either side of like the gate posts, as it were.
This for the one that they're on.
This is for the one they're on. This is for the one they're on. It's in Elven. When you get there, as per, you can see plenty of elves in their attire that is of the Vey dynasty and similar to that of Daelfin. They have their hair tied back at top knots. It's kept nice and straight behind them. Blondes, browns, blacks. Their hair, whatever colour their hair is, it is straight and well kept and out of the way. There is clearly a unease immediately up on the ship. They can, people are not allowed to leave, so you can imagine that the normal crew, you've got a few people that seem to be sticking out a bit more and giving orders, like the first mates, the second mates, etc. You've seen a similar thing on the Oakham Whale with Boulderback and his crew. There is a elf that is dressed in what appears to be expensive, like an expensive, well-wrapped and close to them kimono type piece of kit that has a summer orange colouring, all look like it's like it starts dark and fades out down, and they are walking around. They have a curved longsword on their hip, and they are walking around. Everyone's showing them respect. They are up on one of the higher decks. This clearly looks like the captain or gaffer of the ship at this moment in time. His hair is pure blonde. It could not get any blonder. Almost the original blonde, and all other blondes are inferior. And his hair is top knotted, perfectly straight like the rest of them, and walking around with an air of, I'm in charge of the ship. And he seems to be reassuring the crew as you approach up onto the top. As you approach up onto the deck, they look towards you, the crew that are just doing their normal checking stuff, kind of keeping themselves busy, waiting to be told what to do. There is, straight away that comes over to you, there is a female elf. Her hair is jet black, shorter, and has two ponytails that go back. They're very flat to the head and straight, tied real nice. And she comes over, and her kimono is of a similar orange and red shading to what appears to be the captain's. She does not have a sword on her, and she is more, her kimono and clothing is more tightly wrapped and she is less armoured. She has nothing on her that shows her to be a well-armoured warrior or anything. She just looks like she holds authority. She comes over to you and she's well, hello, we didn't expect anyone to be allowed onto the ship. And she kind of looks over your garb and she gives a little bow. I am Kokoto. How did they get you on? Like, why? Please come. And she's just really respectful of the fact that 2 elves has just turned up, or at least she kind of looks at Kesvion and then carries on with Xandria. Sit, are you well? And you see people coming over and they bring a table over, a little stool for both of you. It's just all on like reaction, like they've got a guest on ship.
Well, thank you for your hospitality. Koto, was it?
Yes, second mate of the Wandering Leaf. She don't do this.
Yay! He's also jolly.
Yay!
Go us.
Go us. As for how we gain passage onto this ship, well, they're not very bright guards, let's be honest.
She does not respond.
My name is Xandria Summerbreeze. This is my brother, Kesvion. We are aware of the situation with Lady Akiku. We're here to find out a bit more information from this side of the gate. For all the information we have currently is very biased towards the Lord and Lady of this city. We're trying to sort this situation out.
I will help you as much as I can. The captain looks down and she just nods and he nods back and then makes no effort to come towards you and leaves his second mate to deal with you. How can we help? What questions do you have? Anything we can do to speed up the process? Have you seen Lady Akiku? Do you know where she is?
That was going to be my question to you.
No, she was a guest at the ball. Samo went with her, her personal guard. We have not seen them since the ball, which was 3 nights ago. We've just been told we are under house arrest and that we cannot leave until Akiku is found. No one has told us why. But we are under orders from the captain to not cause such a fuss. As we don't want to, until our lady is back, we do not want to risk, as frustrating as it is. If Samo is with her, she will be safe.
Does Samo wear a helm that looks a bit like a bird, and he'll kind of like motion?
He does, yes. Do you know Samo? She's still looking at you, not like off, like she can't quite. Like, hang about. Do you know Samo?
There was an individual while my sister was gaining passage onto your ship, hiding in the shadows. They looked in a bad way.
She sits bolt upright. Was he wearing armor with ivy leaves on it? Yes, he was. Kesvion.
Yes, he was. Kesvion will all reply in the affirmative.
This is why Ari should have come with you.
I rolled high enough to see. I just don't remember ivy leaves being mentioned. They weren't in my notes. I remember the bird helmet, and he was bleeding, and the curved sword.
Leather with green ivy, curved longsword.
Cool. Yeah. So, Kesvion, you are aware that it is green ivy. Yes, that is definitely Samo. She's like, and she motions to 2 of the deckhands to come over, and she tells them in Elven, which those of you that speak Elven on the deck,
yep.
Go tell the captain, Samo's been spotted, not with Lady Akiku. and they look shocked and a bit panicky, and they bolt up the stairs to talk to the captain on the next deck up. That is. She continues her conversation in Elven, which I am not accenting. That musical language is not for me. So, and in Elven, she continues the conversation of how can we help? What can we do? How can you help us? Can you what? She's a little bit distressed.
We will try our best to assist in any way we can to make sure that justice is served correctly where it is due. Now, I have another question. Are you aware of any ulterior motives of Lady Akiku in regards to this ball that she was attending? Was she just attending the ball, or was she here on other business?
No. Insight check.
Not 20!
What's your total? What's your total?
What was it? Insight?
Yep.
22.
Cool. She has managed to lie to you just by saying no. She has managed to lie to you with such incredible skill, and you only just catch that there is a hidden truth behind the no, or a hidden lie.
Hidden lie, yeah.
But only just, like, you for a bit you kind of doubt yourself, and then you're like, no, that's definitely there.
I lean. We're at a table, so I'm just going to lean on my elbows closer to her.
There is a shift in her stance as you put your elbows on the table. That's her stance, her stature.
Her being,
yeah.
My dear, I can't help you if you don't tell me the full truth.
She looks at the captain. He's not looking at her. He looks out off the boat, turns to face her, and starts making his way down to the table. It is now 11 o'clock. So I am going to halt the session there.
And now.
So, we will continue next week with Ari heading on to the Blackwing. We will continue with Xandria and Kesvion speaking to the captain of the Wandering Leaf. We will carry on with Dalefin and Griff running around the city of Ebendorf trying to find out who done it.
Who've done it.
And maybe a magic stone and a stone merging samurai will be found. Who knows? Tune in next week, same bat channel. So thank you very much, players, for tipping up and playing. That is session 3 of Fables Among Titans. I hope you are enjoying yourselves thus far in the world of Colossus and the city of Ebendorf. Those of you that are watching, whether you are watching now live, thank you very much for joining us for the last 3 hours. Or if you are watching on our Twitch VOD or YouTube VOD, again, thank you very much for watching. Any subscription, follows, likes, comments, please throw them in. If you are going to be critic of what you've seen, heard, etc., please make it constructive. If you're just going to be shitty, I'll just delete the comment. But if you are constructive, please throw it at us and we will attempt to improve, explain, etc., etc. If you've had a great time, also tell us you've had a great time. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Sawdust and Swearwords. Go check them out on Facebook. Ruffworx Creative. Go check them out on Facebook. If you want to support whatever we're doing at Heavyweight, whether it be Twitching or other exciting projects we're getting on with, then give us jump on our Patreon page, and it is all very, very appreciated. You will be rewarded with Arcane Script, a wonderful e-magazine rammed with like 30 plus pages. Like, we're currently for issue 5 at 25 pages. We still have a minimum of 10 to add. So they're getting bigger and bigger as they go. So yes, look out for a smashing announcement coming shortly. And Thornless Rose, thank you very much. She's going to do, we are going to do a giveaway, so you can enter a competition to win one of her dice rolling trays and a bag of dice. And I will put details tomorrow all over our social media. If you are watching this at a later point, you will have a week. There you go, as modelled by Kate. The lovely leather-etched scroll roll cases, they roll up real cute, and you can unroll them to roll your dice in. Go check them out. The Thornless Rose, Ruffworx Creative, Sawdust Swearwords, and anything you see below. Thank you very much for watching. See you later, guys. Or tell everyone. I need more followers. So, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, players. Say bye-bye, players.
Bye, players.
Bye. Love you all. Bye.